Okay, I'm going to try and show you some of my Twin Peaks collection. We're starting on top of a display cabinet. There's a map of the filming sites. We've got a lunchbox. We've got some of the pop figures there. There's two of the Showtime Twin Peaks. What are they? They were like I don't know if they're like picnic things. I don't know. There's cups and plates and stuff in there. I've never actually opened them. In the center of these pops here is a Twin Peaks hanging sign. No, I think the one in the very back is the Twin Peaks hanging sign. This one is more like a tabletop display. We come down in the display cabinet. We've got some of the figure sets there, postcard. There's a Fire Walk With Me thermos back there, another lunchbox. There's the Rittenhouse cards here, a Laura card, some of the Twin Peaks Festival cups. There's a Twin Peaks murder mystery game, which I got it sealed, but I did open it just to see what it was like inside. Here's some signed cards here. Robert Knepper from the new series. There's Ray Wise, got his signature. I will say that the Star Picks signed cards I did buy, and I bought a lot of this stuff from Bruce Phillips, the Twin Peaks guy from Michigan back in the day. He was very kind to everyone to get all those collectibles, put them together, and offer them through his little homemade desktop catalog deal. Okay, so there's some secret diaries there. There's a hardback, some of the paperbacks, British version. There's a few Cooper autobiographies, the Access Guide to the Town, the Full of Secrets, and then the Essential Wrapped in Plastic. I got a few copies of those. Let's see, what is this? This is just an actual recorder that I put in there. Twin Peaks cassette, some of the newer mugs. That Garmin Bozia was actually briefly owned by Jack Nance. It was given to him by a guy, what's his last name? Pierce, who did some Twin Peaks writing back in the day. James Pierce, I forget the guy's name. J.J. Pierce, I don't know if that's right, but he gave that to Jack, and Jack left it on a table after I had spoken with him in the diner of the hotel we were at. He left it there. I grabbed it up, intending on giving it to him the next day. Never saw Jack again, and of course, Jack didn't live too far beyond that Twin Peaks festival in '95, unfortunately. Very kind man. Let's see. We've got a few other, the Cooper tapes there, Diane tapes. I have a feeling that I have a different one, but I'm not sure where that's at. Here's, let's see, Lenny Von Dolen's signature, a Michael Onkeen signature, some of the boxed Star Picks cards. Little Mike Anderson here in '95 at the festival. Jan Darcy signed that. Twin Peaks Cup of Joe. We got that Mark Altman book there, I think, in the back. And there's an Anthrax album. Black Lodge in the back. We'll go down to the third shelf here. There's a Laura Flynn Boyle signed card. A couple of these little Welcome to Twin Peaks books. There's definitely some more mugs here. some, or they were air pillow earplug, little things. A couple other signed cards there. There's that famous Entertainment Weekly magazine back there. A few of the Mark Frost Secret History of Twin Peaks, and then there's a final dossier there. Let's see. Yeah, there's some pinback buttons, the keychain, some other pinbacks from the festival time. There's a Twin Peaks matchbook there, Fire Walk With Me. A couple of the greeting card or postcard samplers here. Oh, there's the other Cooper. It looks like that's fallen down. All right. Well, it's fallen again. Let's see, some Twin Peaks pencils. Oh, these are neat. These are the Twin Peaks Tarot card sets. I have 2 of them. I forgot the nice kid's name who did that. Benjamin, somebody. He was a very, very kind person. We did wait a long time for it, but he was very generous. So I've got a couple of those decks and a couple of the extra cards that he included with that. And of course a replica owl cave ring, owl cave ring, and there's an owl cave necklace, and and a few other odds and ends in here. Now typically I have this loaded up down here with all sorts of stuff. I've taken it out, the bulk of it anyway, to display on the table, which we're going to go to next. In there's just basically some old Twin Peaks VHS, some of the DVD sets, and some extra pop figures and lunchbox stuff. Okay, and a few other little odds and ends on the floor there. Let's see. So nothing too. These are a stack of those Bravo promo cards that were a big deal. There's some bags from the fan festival, which I did not go to in '93, but I did go to in '95, and I think I was still able to purchase some at that time. So these lamps in the back are all representations of lamps from Twin Peaks. The first one on the left is seen in the Deer Meadow Sheriff's Department on that giggling secretary's desk. There's obviously a Saturn lamp, which those were an 80s reproduction of the 1933 World's Fair lamps. And then this motion lamp here, which I don't have plugged in. The motion lamp was seen on one of the shelves in the Great Northern, somewhere in the midpoint of the series. So I picked that up, and it's kind of neat when it's plugged in, and it looks kind of cool. So we've got some of the, here's some, the band Twin Peaks from the Chicago area. There's some singles here that I picked up just the other day, actually. Now, I mean, they're not technically a Twin Peaks item, but they're kind of cool, and I believe that they were inspired by Twin Peaks to take that name. So we've got the February 24th magazine. We've got the Lynch book there. We've got Ghost in the Machine, Where Angels Play, the New York magazine with the Twin Peaks cover. One of the sheriff department, hats. This is a Twin Peaks for your Emmy consideration item. Here's some of the wrapped in plastic magazine flyers that I got over the years. This of course came from Bruce Phillips here. That's him making probably requests for access to items or to be able to purchase items. This wood in the bag is from the rock or the actual log where Laura was found lying in the pilot episode. So when I was out there were some of these little pieces sort of hanging off. So I took them. I've had them now for, well, yeah, getting close to 25 years now. There's a couple of the Patricia Shook books, who I think once ran the Twin Peaks Festival, the Pictorial of Stars, and then her Twin Peaks interpretation. Let's see. Fire Walk with a Synopsis. Oh, these are my submissions to the Wrapped in Plastic contests that I've kept. We'll talk a little bit more about that as I get further down the table here. Fish in the Percolator, Film Literature Quarterly, some other Twin Peaks stuff there, Sparkwood and 21. Let's see, here's a coupe, telling ABC to keep Twin Peaks on the air. Another newsletter, and you got to remember when Twin Peaks came out, it was sort of at the height of the desktop publishing fanzine sort of deal. So there's a lot of there's the I guess this is the original Wrapped in Plastic magazine, and when the guy started the later Wrapped in Plastic magazine, they really hadn't had any idea of this other magazine's existence. Here's some of my photos from the festival in '95, and of course there's Mike Anderson and Jack Nance. I can't see it really, but this is me heavily in shadow, sitting next to Jack, sort of like under the carport outside the hotel. That is me in the back of the Double R, sporting my Welcome to Twin Peaks road sign tattoo on my right arm, and then I've got Laura Wrapped in Plastic on my left arm. Here are a couple of here's a Jack Nance signed card in person, and this is the better of the two, actually. This is the fish from the Percolator, and it says "My First Trout," Jack Nance. These are kind of like prizes in my collection, really. I really adore those. And if you had even the chance to meet Jack Nance for 5 minutes, you would feel the exact same way. The Rolling Stone, that's a very famous cover. The GURPS Twin Peaks role-playing. I was never a fan of the GURPS system too much, certainly not back in the day, but it's grown on me over the years. So that's kind of an interesting item. Then we come to a couple of the Playboys, where some Twin Peaks people are featured, where angels play. Some scripts here. Here, let's stay here. These are some of the newer magazines. I think this one's older here, though. There's the Entertainment Weeklies. I got a couple of those. Oh, back here is an unopened box of the Star Picks Twin Peaks collectible cards. So there's 20 sets in there. I guess someday I'll open them and see if I happen to get any signature cards in there. More magazines with Twin Peaks. Oh, this is one of the, I guess these are some of the Bruce Phillips catalogs that I used to buy some of this stuff over the years. Let's see. There's some of the totes, Twin Peaks tote here off of, I think that's off the Showtime site. Secret History of Twin Peaks tote. Red Room tote with the chevron floor. There's some original 1 through 3 of the Twin Peaks Gazette. Some more of the newer magazines down here, and the new TV guide. So here we start with the Wrapped in Plastics, and I showed you before the contest entries that I had saved. So I'm going to go down a row here, and let's see if we can. This is saying that Mr. Perkins, you've won Wrapped in Plastic 27, signed by Harley Payton, so that was a nice one. Sorry, hang on. I should have thought this better. This one says I won one of the Wrapped in Plastic, copy Wrapped in Plastic 24 by Carol Stryken, so the Giant. This one I won Wrapped in Plastic Contest 11, so I get a copy of Wrapped in Plastic 35, autographed by Miguel Ferrer, the great Albert, and who is gone now, unfortunately, but thank God he was able to give us another memorable performance in the new Twin Peaks series. Let's see here. This is run contest number 12, Richard Beamer. So that's good. And then, okay, hang on, there we go. This is, let's see. Oh, this is the Vanity license plate one. I remember I worked hard on that one. A copy of Wrapped in Plastic 16, signed by Cheryl Lee. Very nice. And then, this is in my scrapbook, actually. So this is right on the day I got back from the Twin Peaks Festival. This arrived in my mail. And I was the grand prize winner in the 5th contest. So I got these different autographed items. So I got, here, let's go this way. There's Al Strobel, Mark Frost, Julie Cruz, Catherine Coulson, which is I think on the inside, and then a great rarity, of course, is Frank Silva, who actually I think passed away just a few months after this, and he was supposed to be one of the guests, the stars, who were to appear at the festival I went to, but unfortunately he was too sick to attend. So, you know, we missed him, and we still miss him, and I met a number of people who knew Frank quite well, and, you know, he was a very sweet, loving, funny guy, a little mischievous, but just a great guy to know and a great guy to be around from all that I heard. Oh yeah, up here, those are double copies of all the Blue Rose magazines, and then this is the entire run of Wrapped in Plastic, 75 issues, plus there's a bunch of extras. I know I've got a couple of #1 originals in there, a #1 repro, and then I got a bunch of these with Mark Frost on it, because I think this is the, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the one that announces me as the grand prize winner for that wonderful set of signed issues that I got. So that's about it for now. I mean, there's just, you know, I got this little, obviously not all put together yet, but just some things where some of the, there's Craig Miller from Windmill Productions. Let's see, there's the Fan Festival confirmation. So there's a lot of interesting things in here that don't show up as well. Here's me obviously renewing my subscription here to Wrapped in Plastic. So anyway, I've got, now that I think of it, I've got some posters, albums, CDs, and T-shirts, which I think I'll show. I'm going to put this stuff away and end this video, and I'll start a new one and probably connect it to this one. Okay, thanks. Bye. Okay, I'm going to start showing, and I realize I'm going to have to break this one up too, because this whole table is covered already. This is a little Twin Peaks Fan Festival 1993. Just a little map of where things were. There's a little festival logo there on the lower right. This, welcome to the real Twin Peaks. Another film sites map with these different graphics on there. That's Twin Peaks Fest 92. All right, then we're going to look at some posters here. Now, let's see, I'm going to have to pull back, I guess. This is a two-piece, so it's going to be this one and that one. This should be on top right here. And then this is the bottom portion here. So this is an Italian poster. It's pretty big. I'm sure I bought this from Bruce Phillips back in the day. And very, very different graphics than what we found on the American posters, which was basically just that picture of Laura sitting on the bed in the motel waiting for, well, she didn't know it was Leland arriving, but it was going to be Leland arriving, sitting with Ronette, and Teresa Banks was doing something with ice, I think. So that was the American poster, a very, you know, a much more conservative poster than this one, where we see, you know, her lips prominently displayed, the knife, like a shadow or ghost figure there. And then this is the depiction of Twin Peaks with the black and white chevron floor. Very interesting, actually. Very interesting design. We'll move on to the next poster. Also a pretty large poster, another Italian poster. And this is Laura and Buck dancing in the pink room. I think Laura is topless here, yeah, which of course would never fly on an American poster. So very, very interesting, very interesting. And then this is a French poster. Let's see if I can get this in here. I have this turned kind of funny. This is a more iconic look here of closer to what we saw in the American poster. The last 7 days of Laura Palmer. It talks about the Cannes Film Festival. And then we see Cooper over here, sort of hidden. So that's it for these large posters. I'm going to go and get the shirts and the other music-related items, and we'll finish this one up right now. All right, thanks. Bye. Okay, this is the last bit of my Twin Peaks collection. We'll just go some CDs, some Julie Cruz CDs at the top. This is that Twin Peaks, the sort of unreleased season 2 music that never really came out commercially. I think Lynch released that off of his website. A couple, 2, 3, Fire Walk with Me, a few of the original soundtracks, a couple of the new soundtracks on CD. That's the Secret History of Twin Peaks on CD. And this I just found mixed in with the albums. It's just that charcoal, you know, reproduction of the sketch of Bob. And we got some vinyl here. A couple here, a couple here. There's Julie Cruz falling with the Laura image on the front, but it's reversed. Picture disc. These are a couple of the Twin Peaks calendars from 1992. More vinyl here. More here. Twin Peaks, One-Eyed Jacks falling. There's a Lynch, Badalamenti, the Thought Gang. There's a Julie Cruz, and then Twin Freaks, Agent Cooper Lerv's Coffee. Then we'll go to t-shirts. We'll start with the newer t-shirts. The Good, the Bad, the Dougie. That's off of the Showtime website. And here's another one, Diane, Let's Rock. Same thing off of the website. I think these were like some loot box type shirts. I think I found one or both of these at my local resale shop. They'd never been worn. Somebody just didn't like them and donated them right away. And then this is one that I was given as a gift maybe 5 years ago or so. I think they're still making this example. So these are the newer ones. Now we'll go to the vintage shirts. Twin Peaks Fan Festival 1994. I never even took that out of the wrapper because I'm just kind of keeping it there. This is my actual one from the Fan Festival in 95, which I've worn a lot. A coupe shirt, Citizens Opposing the Offing of Peaks, with Little Mike dancing on the front. Another vintage shirt, and I think this must have come from my trip, and I bought it in town at one of the shops that was sort of capitalizing on the Twin Peaks phenomena at the time. This one I must have bought directly from Lynch Frost Productions. That's sort of just the regular Twin Peaks logo. Of course, I could have gotten the one with Laura's picture on that, which would have made this, instead of a $100 shirt, into like a $500 shirt, but oh well, I missed out at that point. This is my original Killer Bob Wanted poster shirt. It's really beat up. I've worn this, you know, hundreds of times over the years. It must be pretty good material because it's still holding together pretty well. That's, you know, even in rough shape, that shirt goes for. It's got some decent collectability to it. Let's put it that way. And then, interestingly, I found this unworn original Lynch Frost Productions shirt at a flea market for $5. Extra large, never worn. And it's sat in my drawer for a few years since I bought it, but anyway, that's the shirts. And so all together, that is my Twin Peaks collection. I'm sure that there are people who've got far more interesting items than I do, but I'm happy with this little accumulation of stuff that I've got. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.